I wouldn't say talks were really heavy like throughout the winter. I did hear that, early on when they were trying to fill this void, when obviously Rendon was going to leave, Bryant was a possibility. The thing with him, he has a service time grievance still working out, so no team's going to go, trade for him until they know, how many years team control they have left. But Victor Robles was the name that was in the mix there, and the Nats are not interested in parting with him right now. I think that, moving forward, top of their farm system, Carter Kieboom and Luis Garcia was entirely off limits last year. Could that change moving forward? Potentially, if they wanted to make a big splash deadline deal this year, get another bat if they're in the mix, because they do have the financial flexibility now to make a bigger move during the season they did last year. But, yeah, Robles was the guy that was the complete hang-up on the Bryant deal.
Right.
So who's going to play third? When they acquired Castro, it was going to play second.
Is Cabrera going to play third?
I mean, I got to imagine that Castro's going to play a chunk over there.
Yeah, I thought that those sort of reports of Castro's going to play second in the seconds after he was signed were a little premature. I don't really know how you could know a guy's position immediately after bringing him in when you don't even know the rest of your roster. So I think there is a really good chance he plays a lot of third base just because he's an everyday player. And you have other guys right now on the roster who could play, even Howie Kendrick, who I thought everyone keeps saying he could play third. I thought he was pretty rough over there as a fill-in last year. And then you have Carter Kieboom, who you don't know what he is yet, but conceivably he'll get a shot in spring training. The best version of your team is him playing really well early on, taking that job, and then Castro playing second. Sure. So in terms of me saying that there was premature for people to say that second base for Castro, I think that was more best case, not necessarily this is what's going to happen.
Right.
And I think another sort of quote-unquote best case would be Carter Kieboom go down to the minors for 2 months, 3 months. And I know that this is sort of an anti-player take, but I'm just sort of thinking from the team side, it's just not my opinion, would be he goes down for 2 to 3 months, tears it up. The Nationals keep a year of control on the back end,
which they like,
and then he comes up in July, and they're pretty good. You're in the mix, you're in second place, first place, whatever, and then he comes up in June, July, and just is a refined everyday player. And then until then, guys like Kendrick, Cabrera, Castro, some rotating mix of characters keeps the spot warm for him. That's probably your best case if you're the team. But from a baseball standpoint, being competitive right away, if Carter comes out really well and is just taking the next step, you want him starting at third base every day.
Joined by Jesse Dougherty, covers the Nationals for the Washington Post. So let's talk about the signing of Eric Thames and what that means. He's a slugger from the Brewers, hit a bunch of home runs. We'd expect him to play most at first base. Does this mean Ryan Zimmerman's out, or are they still going to try and bring him in?
No, it does not mean Ryan Zimmerman's out at all. I think the Nationals, the sort of final move right now, and the one that I know they're still interested in, is bringing in Zim, because if you think of the roster right now, they're going to certainly carry 5 bench players this year all year, because there's a 26 roster spot and enables you to have an 8-man bullpen at all times. Last year they went short bench a lot, but now they'll go 5 players. So right now we're looking at 11 guys that are pretty locked in. If you think Michael A. Taylor is the 4th outfielder, that leaves 2 spots for position players. And I'd say if one goes to Carter Kieboom, then the 13th is sort of open, because you don't really need another infielder. Wilmer Difo or Adrian Sanchez does not help you at that point, because you have too many guys who play second base, shortstop, whatever. They need that righty first baseman. If you sort of want to keep Howie Kendrick last year did not have a position. He wasn't in the first base platoon. He played there a lot because he earned at-bats, but the thing Dave Martinez loved about him was the ability to get him at-bats anywhere, not tethering him down, because now you get in a sticky situation. If he's your first base platoon guy, now you need to make sure he can't play against righties, because you want Timms to get at-bats. And then now when you put him over at second base, now you're taking away at-bats from Castro. So I think leaving Howie Kendrick as sort of your roving, can play anywhere, can get him at-bats as a pinch hitter, can get him at-bats 3 days a week at any position, is a lot better than having him stuck in a first base platoon and then having his at-bats totally tethered to someone else, some other player. So bringing in a righty first baseman like Zim actually is the perfect for this makeup of this roster, because now that gives you a set platoon there, allows you to work Kendrick into that mix if need be. He can play second base, he can play third, as I mentioned, and I think that's sort of your best case in terms of construction. is having as a righty and lefty at first base, and then Kendrick as sort of a roving utility player who just is kind of just your professional hitter per se and can just play wherever Davey needs him to.
By the way, this is complete outside the box thinking, and I think it's probably 100% unlikely, but any thought ever return to base, or is his arm just shot?
Oh, no chance.
way.
Come on.
That's so outside the box.
Said it was outside the
That's
box.
the worst question in history.
He still makes throws.
I
from
don't like
first base.
outside the box thinking.
Oh, it's terrible.
No, that'll never happen.
That's a wild question.
Thank you. Thank you. It's
Like I would if I listed the possibilities, I think that would be like 70 on the list of things this team could do at third. But it's fun. That's a fun one.
All right,
I
let me
mean,
ask
he
you
makes
this.
throws on a 3-6-3 double play. He makes
doesn't
throws
have it,
home.
dude.
Not many.
you
There
see
aren't
the
that
way he
many.
throws? They ain't great. It's
That's
not
not
great.
gonna happen.